Right, we live? I don't know because OBS is freezing on me at the moment, but I think we are live. So, hey guys, and yeah, welcome back to Dovetail Games Train Sim World. Got the webcam working, thought I'd give that another go because it's been a little while since I last showed my face here, so yeah, thought I'd give that a go today. And of course, with the release of the LIRR M3, getting all new routes to try that out on. It looks like it's all working rather fine, so let's have a look at the trailer. Let's see what we're going to play with today before we jump into the action. So, rather excited in this. Yeah, a little bit of history of the M3, built in the 1970s for an upgrade on the Long Island Railroads. Built with an all-steel shell and operating line until feels like 2000 and... I want to say 2003, but actually it was a lot more recent than that, maybe 2013. But yes, Long Island Railroad M3 was the train that served the line for a fair while. There you go, built by Bud in 84 to 86. But before we go for a timetable service, I think we'll go for the training and give ourselves an introduction to the all-new loco. There you go, so learn basically M3 electric multiple unit, including starting, stopping, and passenger boarding operations. Right, let's do this. Like I say, it's been a little while since I last showed my face. Last time I had a webcam going. A little bit unshaven, truth be told, because the it's a bit of effort, okay. I've not been out properly in the last couple of months, so we'll see how it goes. But, I mean, with the M7, the train that came out on the Long Island Railroad first, it was always a good train to drive. I always enjoyed that one, especially the fact that you kind of have the metro service in and around New York before taking it out on the Long Island Railroads for the long-distance stops. And, yeah, I've actually been on the Long Island Railroad myself, personally, about 2 weeks ago. Last week even, so had a trip booked to New York, but had to cancel that relatively last minute, so that was a bit of a shame. But as long as you have Train Sim World, I think we get to enjoy the spirit of that anyway. Here we go, M3 introduction.
Welcome to this Bud M3 electric multiple unit in Long Island Railroad livery. During this brief introduction, we will go through the most common operational procedures you will encounter. A lot of time will be spent in the engineer's seat.
There we go. So, let's ask to the first doors. That's just my audio actually, because I've realised that the volumes are way off at the moment. Yeah, that should be a bit better now. And let's climb into the engineer's seat. Close the door and sit down.
The master key is used to activate the control desk.
Master key in front of us.
The reverser determines the direction of travel.
Set the reverser to forwards. Oh, it's neutral even.
Lights are important to let others around us know that this unit is active.
Mark lights off. And headlights to bright. There's a proper lever that. That's dim, that's bright.
This unit has a combined power and brake handle called a master controller. Engage this as indicated to begin the startup procedure.
Alright, so set the master controller to maximum brake. And charge up the brakes, I presume. Yes. Which will be visible through the panel just on the top left.
To unlock the doors, a key must be inserted into the car corresponding panel.
So set that to doors and communications presumably, and open doors rearward with this car. So if there was a guard on board the train, sorry, it's not called a guard in America, it's called a... forget the name of it. Basically, they'd have a key, switch the lock, and then they can control doors either in front of them or behind them. That's an M7. You've got rearward and forward doors. So there goes an M7, and there's an M7, while we go in the slightly more old school vehicle. Originally the trains were in red, they had a red livery, but during some modifications and modernisation, they then repainted them into the silver livery that they have today. Right, doors are closed, set the reverser to forwards,
It is now time to use the master controller to get this train moving.
and
It
let
is
us
currently
get
set to
going.
apply the brakes. Pull the handle towards you into the power range.
So for each 10 miles per hour, we have got it set to metric, so we'll be able to use the right speed limits. Red is actually Metro North. Oh, is it Metro North, the M3 Red? Okay, cheers for the correction.
Focus on reaching the
During the same long line railroad, the M3 Red Tigers the new M9s. Fastest new train, welcome Bostonian. How are you doing? Right, let's put the power up, let's get going. And yes, standard horn. Not a bad sounding one, I must say. Definitely a nice powerful horn, that. Alright, up to 50, and then we'll start coasting a little bit. If I remember these tutorials correctly, Dovetail will then try and throw a emergency brake at you, so we get to handle one of those before we start driving this train for ourselves properly. So yeah, set the master controller to coast.
Coasting is a method used to efficiently maintain speed and reduce maintenance requirements.
Thank you for following 8 to 22 stream, much appreciated. Much appreciated. There we go. Next station in 0.9 miles. Speed limit right now is 80 miles per hour. So we'll push it up slightly and give this master controller handle. No need to use the alternative brakes. Next station is Hollis. Very nice little cab, this. Door overrides, we have headlights. Let's start braking actually. Because I'm going to come into the station well too fast. Well too fast. I'm not paying any attention to that. It's my fault entirely. But as long as the rear of the train stops in the station, that will count it as a stop. Safe to say though, I'd probably not be getting a job here with Long Island Railroad if I did that. Right, let's open the doors. And let's give the passenger numbers here. Whoops. Actually, single chime horns before we Okay. I always like these streams because you do get the other person with the local knowledge, so it's quite fun. We'll try and get past. Actually, not so much in the way of a window here for me to peek out of. Alright, lock the doors. Should I brakes are
Operate
charged?
the train to the next station without instruction. Be aware that an emergency stop will occur before arriving.
Sounds good. Whoa! That was a bit of a... The train teleported there slightly. Definitely a bit of a ferocious jump, that. Several G's picked up. Right, next station is Jamaica, 2.1 miles. She has warned us we will get an emergency brake that time. And also, I know the approach to Jamaica, about a mile out of the station, the speed limit does start to drop, so we will need to take that into account. It's about 30, I believe, the speed limit is into Jamaica, and then slower after that. Thank you, Ethan, for subscribing. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Right, so this will actually stop. Train will come to a halt. And then if it's like the M7, it's just a case of recharge the brakes, and then you're good to go.
To recover from this situation, controls must first be reset.
That's fine. So set train to neutral, recharge the brakes, train forward,
so it is possible to get moving
and
again.
off we go. Perfect. I will say, when Dovetail first announced the M3, I was quite excited for it, because while it's not a train that I know too much of, there's just something about its design, its style that I really do like. The double doors that have been like pushed into the handling slightly. I mean, it's a train from the 70s and 80s. I do like the old style EMUs. I mean, with London Underground, my favourite train is the A stock, built in 1960, and then the second batch built in 1962. So yeah, I've always liked the older style EMUs, and this is certainly no exception to that. So let's continue to Jamaica. We'll start braking slightly because we will need to change points. That does remind you of the 150, of course. It's a very quiet train as well. I mean, you've got the generator I can hear, a bit of a wind noise from the cab as well, but it really is a silent train, this. Alright, let's bring it down to 35. There we go, track speed 40. Can turn on an ATC as well. What are you? You're another M3 there. It's a 4-car set, so it's only 2x2, and currently stable in Jamaica. Just down to 15. Slow coast from here into the platform. Fun facts, the M3 was just a modernised version of the M1, built in the 60s. Some M1s were rebuilt into M3s in 2003, and the one that I'm driving, you believe, is a rebuilt model. Okay. So what, they took the old stock, modernised it with like new controls or whatever, and then push it back out as a rebranded train. How very American. Boeing have done that in the 737 for the past 60 years. Yeah, if it works, it works. What can you say? Alright, nice and slow coast. Let's bring the train to a halt. 9910. Oh yes, because that's also rather good with the train numbers as well. They are randomly generated, but they are based on numbers of the real-world rolling stock. Right.
Good work. That concludes all the basics of this train. More details on the controls can be found in the manual.
So, that wasn't that bad at all. Not too bad on the speed limit there. The first station we stopped at, not the best stopping, but got a gold medal out of it, so obviously no one was looking then. let's head to the main menu, let's head to the timetable, let's bring the train to service, shall we? Let's give it a proper run down the Long Island Railroad. But yeah, it's all looking good so far. The M3, so that's looking like a popular little loco, especially on some of the Facebook groups and Discord groups as well. Seems like those people are enjoying it. Right, so let's go back to Trains and Worlds menu. Let's go to the timetable. We'll select the M3. Well, actually, an update as well. So in the M7, if you go to switch livery, it's not so much a livery changer, but a consist changer. So you can have a 6-car set, an 8-car set, or a 10-car set. Same, I believe, applies for the M3. So switch livery, you can have a 10-car set, a 6-car set, and an 8-car set as well. So we'll go for the 4-length service. And let us do a run from Ronkonkoma to New York Penn. No short journey that, but should be a fun one. Let's load up the routes and let's get into that, shall we? There's the box art for Trains and Worlds. I'm trying to think, I think the Long Island Railroad does now actually come as a default route for the game. So if you were to buy the game after it came out as Trains and World 2020, you get Long Island from the get-go, which replaced the Northeast Corridor, which wasn't so popular. And so the M3 as a DLC for that means that most people do now own the original content, which is a nice little bonus. There we go, the M3 coming soon. I can imagine that will get updated very shortly into an Out Now panel. Right, so we'll let Train Sim World loads. Should be a little bit quicker this time since we're not running a tutorial behind it as well. And then it's about a 40 odd minute service, I believe, this one from Ronkonkoma to New York Penn. So as I say, it's not a short service by any means, but it does allow us to really push the train to its limits. First in the long distance runs. Or it wants to slow down now. One thing it didn't teach us was how to open the door on the other side, which I can imagine is by using a panel over here. So unlock rear with doors. More passengers are boarding. That was very quick. While passengers are boarding, let's have a look around. So, yeah, emergency instructions, which is always good. Very wide train this. When I say wide, it's only a... Actually, yeah, it's a 3x2 interior. Most trains are like 2x2, so that is certainly make things a bit bigger. But in the end, from the outside, it doesn't look that big at all. It's like a TARDIS. It's bigger on the inside. What else we got? We've got toilets, so that's always good and comfortable for long distance journeys. Steps between carriages, all looking good. Watch your step, it's always nice. It's a nice train, this. Very fancy cab here. And then, of course, because it's 2 end car units, there's no getting away between the 2 trains. Alright, let's teleport back to the cab. Let us close the door. Yeah, lock. Remove the key since this one is now in public access. And let us actually get straight prepared, shall we? Probably should have done that first. So forwards, forwards, set the brakes to 10. Charge the brakes. That won't take us too long, and then it also needs to double check the lights as well. Go. Mark lights are off and headlights are... Where are they? Down here. Dim. Right. Let's go, shall we? Welcome, Goran. How you doing? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chats. Again, it's not very loud, but you can hear the motor noises from the wheels there. It's a very I don't know what's like the name of the motor used, so I'm sure the traction actually is mentioned in the menu. But it's just something about that old style motor sounds that I just really like about these older trains. Right, up to 80 on the ATC, but line speed is still at 40. Should have updates in a couple of moments. Does the rear train not come with tail lights automatically on? Probably make a switch over for that in Mineola just in case. Right, up to 80. I'm not doing too bad. Always enjoying a new scenario out of the Train Sim world. In this case, a new route, or a new train even. And yeah, I think I'll do what I normally do, which is on the release of a new route, I'll do like a different scenario every day. The M3 I think comes like 3 or 5 scenarios itself, so I'll probably be doing those as well. We'll confirm that at the end of this mission. What do we expect it to arrive? York Penn at 13:16, so it's only about half an hour journey, so we do actually skip a fair few stations on the route. It's a very bouncy train, this, the M3. It's not a very stable thing, it wobbles around like crazy. Looks like riding the Central Line in London. I think likes to jostle and bump a fair bit. Right, I'll go downhill slightly, so just bring the speed a tad bit down, just to manage that. Number 2, dead man's feature can be disabled by jamming a pneumatic valve under the control desk. This was obviously created after derailment of the Metro North M3. Oh, okay. So you kind of just force the dead man's handle down and let train coast on its own. Of course. Crouch down and look into that a bit more. Maybe not. Last thing I want to do is not be in the seat and for ATC to start ringing at me. Right, so skipping the station. Stick the camera on the platform somewhere. Yeah, it's not a slow tram by any means this, 80 miles per hour. Could probably get it a bit faster. Is there a speed limit sticker somewhere? Yeah, I'm sure the UI tells you this. There you go, we're 9849. If you can drag the history of that train a bit, see if this is a rebuild or a original. Sounds like a pacer nodding donkey. Pretty sure one of the M2s was in service in the Connecticut DOT. Never corrected the feature, thankfully no harm was caused. We'll start slowing the train down slightly since we're fairly early, just under 2 miles from Mineola. Don't need to go too slow, but we have got about 2 minutes to kill. Both ways as well. It's a nice little system HC. It's very simple. It reminds me of IWS in the UK really. Yeah, so we're at about 40 miles per hour and then we're allowed to coast to reach the station, which I believe is actually now visible to us just up ahead. It's about a mile away. Pause it now, so just under 50 miles per hour. So we entered the platform, we're down to about 2030, give or take a bit, and then post it to the station there. Metropolitan Transport Authority. Whoa, did not like the sound of that bell there. We'll keep it on it. No, I should just hold it. Until we get to the station. Where did you get the mod? So you have the route. Are you using Xbox, PlayStation, or Steam? Because currently it's out on the PlayStation Store. It released on the Steam Store about an hour ago, and then Xbox is a little bit behind, but that's how I contacted Microsoft to get that released as soon as possible. But yes, it's out on 2 of the 3 stores, and it's costing about £12, £11.99, depending also then on your currency as well. Sorry, that's communications. I need door. There we go. And since I am at the station now, I did say I was to head to the rear cab and correct those tail lights. Problem is, such a massive train this, it takes forever to get to the back. There's a chance again to see the train from the outside. We've got about 2 seconds until we need to depart anyway, so let's quick about this. Map already collected, fire hydrants already set. We're just to see if there's any collectibles we've not yet picked up on this route. Right, so here's the final set. Run inside and sets the tail lights. Not that one, should turn that off as well. Mark lights on, close the door, teleport to the front, and go. Alright, next station is Jamaica in 9.3 miles. Front is correct, rear is now corrected. M1 test at 110, maybe 140. I mean, the speed up only gets up to 100, so probably doesn't vouch well for anything faster than that. M3 is the fastest than M7, does it now? Okay, that's actually you say that, but if I remember from one of Matt Pedalson's streams, he did say how the way the power output works in the train is kind of push back, push back, push back. What I did there. What have I done wrong? What did I do wrong there? Brakes are charged. Was I not supposed to brake, or was I not supposed to drive there? It's one of the parts of ATC I don't quite understand. You have the standard bell, which is just to acknowledge. What does the longer bell mean? The one that you can't seem to acknowledge. Alright, let's get going, Jamaica. Trips the ATC. So, how do I not trip ATC? What's the big difference there? I mean, it's one of those things I never quite fully understood in the M7, so I'm going to do the M3 now, might as well fully understand it. Alright, so it looks like we will be going on to 2 lines shortly. Slowing down within a certain time frame. Okay. Should to say 500 speed limit. Ah, okay, so I must have missed the speed limit change there. What's that? Cool, cheers for the route knowledge. So listening up to speeds, 80 miles per hour once more. It's about 8 miles, about 10 minutes. So it's drive to Jamaica. Maybe a little bit behind because of that stop there. We're hoping that by pushing to 80, we'll be able to gain a little bit. Sorry, not paying attention. That is my fault entirely. Yeah, we'll keep it 5 miles under just to be sure. So looking good. Having said that, it's easy to rust in German PCB CFA. Yeah, PCB and CFA, it's another one of those. I've actually got a guy who's willing to teach me that. I do need to catch up on him on that at some point. He'll explain to me in detail how to understand PCB and CFA. Slow down. So actually, it's like it does kind of cut you some slack, the ATC. If you're going too fast over the speed limit, as long as you are slowing down, it does allow you to, I guess, miss it partially. I like that bit. Well, AWS doesn't check your speed, it just checks if you're checking signals and still the controls. PCB is very harsh, where if you're like half a mile over the speed limit, it will bring your train to a halt, but I like that it gives you a little bit of leeway to kind of correct your speed before it stops you. Alright, next station is Jamaica, in 4 miles now. There's one standing in there. You don't always get people standing in train sim worlds. It's not there to the passengers. Please note dev and operation manual for the M series cars. Try and have some as well. Cheers, man. Much appreciated. NTA's ACC is pretty clever, not gonna lie. Yeah, it's a nice little system there, I do like it. What's the M stand for? It's the something Transport Authority. Not quite sure, it's not Massachusetts, that's nowhere near New York. Metro Transport Authority. Why does it work on trains so much? What's up? Why do you like strains? What's up? Are you running it on Xbox One? It's not out on Xbox One yet. It will come out as soon as Microsoft make the page active. Unfortunately, Microsoft have been a little bit slow with the release of the M3 on Xbox. So until Microsoft release the page, it's not yet available for Xbox One, but it is now out on the PlayStation Store and Steam at £11.99. Metropolitan Transport Authority. Actually, I could probably read that off the side of the train, couldn't I? If I had half a brain. The fact is, I did already read that. I just completely ignored myself. Yes, thank you, Bell. So that's what the M stands for. Metropolitan 3, Metropolitan 7. I remember I asked someone previously and I did not know. Bostonian, thank you very much. You are a star. Yeah, as I say, I always like getting local knowledge on these kinds of streams. New trains, new routes, whatever. You get the person who's actually lived in these areas, and so yeah, it's always a lot of fun. It's down to 15. Coast at 13. It's just nice and slow track through the platform. Do love the way the ADT panel speed boxes light up, like foreign heads and old lifts. Yeah, it's a very fancy little box. I presume this is going to be retrofitted. This is like one of the new features that the M1 did not have, as confirmed by this new ATC departure test sticker. Which again, if it's new, means that it won't be on the previous trains. So you worked at the LIRR few months for internship. I can imagine those are some pretty exciting few months that. Because at the moment I do some volunteering on a miniature railway. I was going to say it's not really a heritage rail, but I do some volunteering on a miniature railway. So a lot of the staff are mainline drivers and do bring a lot of the stuff over from that. You never know. You never know what future brings for you. Right, welcome to Jamaica. I have no idea which side doors I'm opening. I presume it's the right. Yes, I have. That's it, right. So we're about a minute early on our arrival to Jamaica, so we will have some time. I'm not sure where did you just walk through, because that door is not open. Okay, let's open both sets of doors, shall we? So we'll take the key with us, and then open up this side. RHBR, I assume. It's locked door, so actually it's not we're going to be here for too long anyway. Lock. And have that. It's not very easy to click it and the key's so far away. There we go. Okay, the same for you. In there, doors, lock. And we'll leave that one in there because, no, actually we won't. All doors now going to be on the left hand side. No, right hand side because we're going towards New York, and in the US trains run opposite rail to what we have in the UK, so it's going to be on the right hand side track, not the left. In the UK we drive on the left and our trains run on the left, so when it comes to international routes it just takes a second to kind of change sides there. Vehicles with Jacob, it has been a while, man. How are you doing? How are you doing? You distracted me there, I'm blaming you. there, how you doing, man? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat. Yeah, did not like that, did it? Okay, recharge the brakes. And let's be a bit more cautious on the escape path this time. I'm not doing too bad. Drawyah, I'm on the Rice Lido. Somewhere. Oh gosh. I'll show you the logo shortly. We'll wait till we're out of the low speed section of Jamaica. Yeah, I've got the hoodie behind me so I can show you that. I've just got my lanyard over there as well. Probably grab that a bit easier. Yeah, it's the Rice Lido I'm a part of. It's not too far away from me. It takes about an hour to get there. People's nice, and the area's rather good as well. There we go, speed limit goes up to 35, 80's up to 60. Let's make a bit of a push now. What's the name tag? These guys. Lido. Welcome Jake, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat. Speaking of railway careers, you do work for Boston Transport Authority as a locomotive mechanic. Not bad. Not bad. I didn't know if you were mechanics in London Undergrounds. Nice people. To be fair, I say that. I don't think I've ever met anyone who works on the railways that I don't particularly like. Even going further, I don't know anyone that I don't like in particular at all. Shirt doesn't seem to like the green screen like on my shoulder. Alright, so it's 5 miles to Woodside. I presume the speed limit will increase shortly. There you go, up to 80 now. Fun bunch to work with. I can imagine when you look at most construction works and all that, they all seem like a joyful bunch. And it's manual labour what you do, but certainly something to kill the mundanity of it. Give you a good laugh. Alright, so all's looking good. We are pushing to 60, although 80's now up to 80, so we can follow through with that. Welcome K-Fields, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat. Also, I did not check if I'm actually speaking on Twitch right now. I do apologise to those people. Okay, there's a bumpy old train in this. Thank you for subscribing, K-Fields, much appreciated. I think that pushes us towards 3,200. Let me double check. Alright, it's behind me. But it's certainly more than 0, that's for sure. Yeah, maybe I'll check the numbers at some point. Yeah, thank you for subscribing, much appreciated. Will it be on PlayStation Store? It's already out on PlayStation Store. It's out on PlayStation and Steam. Xbox is a little bit behind, but Microsoft should be dropping that shortly. Dovetail said it's ready to go. Microsoft now just waiting a little bit. It's labour and love. You like to see the odd stuff going longer, and your logos with more computer machine in them. Yeah, I mean, you look at... Actually, you can imagine some of the US logos. There are a couple of stocks out there which are ancient. I mean, London Underground's the oldest stock we had was the A stock, the A60/62. That train was about, well, it had hit 50 years old when it was retired in 2012. So, yeah, it could last 50 years on a high-capacity transit system. I can imagine that keeping those things going, especially towards the latter years of its life, certainly a task. I can imagine it's not a fun process cannibalising old stock as well for perhaps keeping other trains alive. We'll start slowing down shortly. About 2 minutes until we stop at Woodside, 3 minutes until we stop at Woodside, so it wasn't too bad for time, but that's the 1950s, gosh. Retire them. Are the trains still working at this point? Will it be on there permanently? It should be. I don't see why it wouldn't be on there permanently. I mean, I think the only loco that seems to not be around anymore is the Class 30 on Steam. But even then, that one should still be around. At least I can still use it if I already own it. Like the old stock production system, yeah, it's always a fun little one as well. I like the band's handle to a proper arm down, push down kind of mechanism. Right, got a mile to go. We are going uphill slightly, so I'll let that slow train down slightly. But we don't need to go to a full halt or a little bit. Most effective loco you've got, oh okay. To be fair, I guess stuff in the 50s were built to last forever. Water bottle. Those are good fashion statements. Alright, it's Woodside Yards. About 900 yards. Should be able to spot it now actually. Oh yeah, there it is. You can see the bridge going across it. Oh, efficient locomotives you've got. Oh, okay. A little bit faster than what I'd like to be doing on a documentary, but not too bad. Down to 20. It's not that. I wanted that. Not try and break from the outside of the train there. Can't see what you're doing. Right, let's unlock the doors rear of here. Oh, the window's open as well actually, so I can hear a bit more of the outside world. Closed, and off we go. Next station, York Penn, where this train terminates. Oops, going way too fast there. Let's bring it back. Unfortunately, because ATC set to 60, it won't penalise that for us. Can we start Atlantic time to Hempstead? So yeah, M3 Atlantic. Sure, we'll do that scenario next. I was going to start Atlantic anyway, but I'll make a Hempstead stop up. I think that's a 6-car train, isn't it? So we need to set that up. Going uphill now, but we are a little bit over speed, so that's us. Yeah, we're definitely a bit over speed now. Let's go down to about 30. Nope. More. Overspeed penalty. Okay, so you were going over speed a bit too long there. And so it has penalised us for that. Nope, we charge the brakes again. Yeah, it was always going to happen with ATC active. It was always going to eventually catch me out. Alright, let's bring that up. Let's get the train going again. Again, having people standing, actually it's a bit different. It kind of changes the aspect of passengers a little bit. It's no longer just all sitting there doing nothing. Actually, a little bit of movement in the cab. A few people standing over sitting, shorter journey especially. It's a bit of a change. Also increased capacity as well. Right, AC's up to 60 now, which is good because once we enter the tunnels, there really won't be too much to look at. And that'll be when we cross over with the Hello Express on the Washington DC to Boston line. So I can imagine New York Penn, New York, Pennsylvania, gets its name from the Washington DC to Boston line, as all trains leads to Pennsylvania. If the camera sways on, oh well, yeah, I can see that. Especially when we're pushing up to the full 80 miles per hour, we can see that. It's definitely a jumpy little train, this. We're going downhill now, so we shall get a little bit braking on. Is that the Freedom Tower, just in the distance over there? In the wrong place to be the Freedom Tower, the One World Trade Center. Alright, welcome to the tunnels. Right, we got a penalty, we're going to stop. I think that is my fault there again. Just for the sake of keeping this train going, I probably will just cut ATC for the time being. Right, let's get going. So it's 2.5 miles now from York Penn. Not too long left in this first journey. So then next we'll do Atlantic to Hempstead. And I think we'll do one more service before bringing the stream to an end to give us a nice chance to use the full nature's train. Do I do the Atlantic to Hempstead at daytime or a nighttime service? Or maybe try and push for an evening one, try and get a bit of lighting as well on this train. I think we changed the time of day as well slightly. Maybe a nice sunset we'll do for the next service. This is my first time operating an ATC operation. I think I may have tried it before, but I've never really done safe systems outside of the UK because I just don't quite always understand how it works. But thanks to a bit of local knowledge, I think I've somewhat managed that one. Only failed me 3 times. 3 times too many if it was a real service. Bear that in mind. If it was done on the ground, if you were to trip the AWS, you'd be taken out of service, placed on hold for 2 weeks while they investigate your reason for stopping, and then either puts you into retraining, puts you into a different job that's not driving a train, or if it's a serious cause of issue, then outright sack you. When initially spawn the M3, do you need to manually turn on ATC? Yes, you do need to manually turn on ATC. On a keyboard and mouse, it's just Control Enter. I'm not so sure about how you turn it on in consoles. Also, I know that some trains will have the fuse box behind you. Sometimes it'll be up there, sometimes it won't. There we go, ATC breaker is also up there as well, so you can turn it on via the fuse box. Alright, so let us start slowing down as we're within a mile of the station now, and I know the speed limits will certainly slow for the different crossovers. Night. Okay, we're doing our next service at night. When you initially spawn in M3, yeah, same question. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. Hope you guys are enjoying this M3 action. Let's go down to about 20. Oh no, a bit further. Hey Ben, welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat, how are you? I'm not doing too bad myself, enjoying the all new M3, so it's a bit of fun to drive this. Definitely in the old school train, also yeah, the cab lights are, it's just such tiny little windows, you can barely see out of them. Here we go, increase throttle a tad bit now, but nothing above 15. Looping run sounds at high speeds, that's on TSW. Yeah, because it's a combination of the faster you go, the higher the pitch, and then depending on how long the clip is, sometimes you can note there's a bit of a gap in there. But I'm sure any issues that there are, drop off the tickets, and they'll probably get their audio team to snipe a few more sounds. I must say, for a train that doesn't particularly operate anymore, bad set of sounds this. Again, I love the little motor, the wheel motor when you're accelerating. It's a very, very 70s, 80s sounded train, which I do like. The only train that has it in London Underground these days is the Piccadilly line 1973 stocks and the Bakerloo line 1972 stocks. I just love the sound of the 72s. Very fun little train. Alright, so we don't want to open this side door, so we'll grab the key and switch sides and open rearwards. Welcome to New York, Pennsylvania. The train has now terminated, so please leave. Where's the horn? Right, you having with me, are you? Okay. Lock the doors. And let's end this scenario. Confused me there for a second. I thought that the ATC bell's ringing. No, it's the door alarm. So, not too bad. I think ATC did me rather well in being cautious of the speed limits. That puts us on to level 3 of the M3. Level 9 on the Long Island Railroad. 72 on the character with now 1.025 million points. God medal, which is always good. Means we're knowing what we're doing. Let's head to the timetable and let's go for a Atlantic service next. Bad readers next and simple yet unkillable rail cars, M series included. Yeah, I think in the UK we'd have an equivalent being I think it's Yorkshire Brel. Their trains will last basically forever, so none of the parts exist for them, to make light repairs. Also, let's make it a little bit more interesting. So we have a little tiny bit of rain, which means we'll need a few clouds and a little bit of wetness. And as promised, we shall do a night service. Although we do need to make this a 6-car set. We're going to go for the Atlantic. There we go, Atlantic Hempstead, but we want a late one. This evening, anything a bit later. Starting from Atlantic. Cool. Let's get going, shall we? Light yard bottom cabs, slightly tight fits. They're not the biggest cabs, that's for sure. With the M7s at least, you could slide a door and have the entire compartment to yourself. With this one, it's definitely, you're stuck in a little box, no real movements left and right. And especially because the train bounces around so much, you really get no freedom in there, don't you? Right, let's us unlock the doors. It's right, no, it's left hand side cab. So in, twist, unlock, and while passengers are boarding, get to the rear of the train and make sure that the tail lights are on. We'll leave the key in there. No one take that key, please. Thank you. So we run to the back, make sure that the tail lights are on. Welcome Punchy, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chats. Got about a minute and a half anyway to wait, so plenty of time. Excuse me, thank you. Alright, cab lights off, don't need that. Marker lights on, that will do. Just confirm that. Perfect. It'll just go through the cab train itself. It's just easier than trying to manoeuvre the whole platform. It's a bit quieter now. And we'll just teleport, it's easier. Right, so yeah, lock the doors. Just bring back the key. Lock ourselves in, just put the key there for safekeeping. And let us get going, really. Bring that on, back, back, charge, wait. Whoever steals the door key loses a free trial of life. Throw him in front of the train. Whoops. There's only 5 mile per hour limit here. Let's not abuse that, although we will turn on the ATC again because it seems to actually be rather functional. I'll go check myself. By the way, it's 12:30 AM in Australia, but worth it. Gosh, it's a bit late over there. Surely you'd not want to sleep rather than watching a cheap old live stream at, what is it in the UK? 3:30 in the afternoon. Oh yeah, also I should make sure that I've got my set up, so we'll turn on the, we'll turn on the headlights, turn that bright, close that, mark lights off. Because again, we shouldn't really be driving with cab lights in a train. But for the purpose of this live stream, we will break that rule so you guys can see. As I can't see. Flashlight on, turn those on. So slowly, it's a mile and a half to no strand. Should really hand in your DT workout now. I mean, technically I am working from home at the moment. To apologise to those people. Although it is my lunch break, so I do have some freedom. Technically I should actually be ignoring the speedometer on the bottom right and just following ATC speed, but given that it does affect your points at the end of it, I won't. I like my god pedals. slow and steady. Wait for the little needle to move over to 15, and then we're on our way. Also, it's quite a nice tunnel out of Atlantic. I remember it from a couple of previous runs. I do like the way kind of everything arches up at the side, kind of the struts that keep it up together. It's a nice little tunnel, this. If I do make myself to New York at some point, I'm sure I'll give the LIRR a couple of runs. I mean, one place that I know I will be going to, if we're going to plan, will be Ronkonkoma, flight out of Islip, the airport in Ronkonkoma, I can't remember. It's like Long Island airfield or something. So Ronkonkoma I'll definitely make a trip to. Flying to New York JFK, and we'll certainly take the air train over to Jamaica, take the train then from there to City. I just have to write a 1,000 word essay. Let's just go up to 15 at this point, ignore the points. ATC won't cause any problems for us. 1,000 word essay in 12 hours. We'll just say pictures worth 1,000 words. I like that mindset. I wish I had that back in school days. You're lucky if you can ride the M3. So they're dying breed. I thought they were already completely retired. So did they actually still somewhat exist? Ooh, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Just realised that. Yeah. Nope. That needle confused me there. It jumped up to 45, but the ATC is still set to 15, so that threw me off. Saturday Library, yeah, I thought they'd already been retired completely, so do some of them still exist? Come on, Drawyah, you're better than this. You know you're better than this. Right, let's now stop it at 14. There's no way. Alright. And now it jumps to 60. Trains are evil, my friends. Trains are evil. Until the follower of M9's come. Okay, so we'll see. Now that I know that they do stick around, I'll definitely keep an eye out for some of them. It'll be a trip definitely to be made next year as opposed to later this year. I think this year most of my travel is now through the wall, so hopefully next year things look a bit brighter. It's not uphill climb, so we'll definitely keep a little bit of throttle in. Never understood why the US third rails are so large. Everything in the US is bigger. Yes, one of the many things I want to do over there is ask for a large McDonald's Big Mac meal and see what they throw at me. Because I believe the large in the UK is about equivalent to a medium in the US. It's a quarter pounder, but does it really weigh just a quarter pound? Here we go. First station, no strands, just up ahead. Well, it's a bit quiet, I do apologise. Problem is, normally when I stream, I have my microphone a bit close to my face, but because I've got the camera going with a green screen, it just kind of cuts my face like that. It's a bit, yeah, it doesn't really work, so at some point I'll do an adjustment, maybe change the microphone header colour just to balance out the audio. But hopefully, for the most part, you can hear the sim as well as you can hear me. If the sim's silence, then I know I've got to work on something. Right, set the door panel to active and unlock rear with doors. It is raining, so I won't go outside, but I will hopefully turn on the wipers. If I remember what keyboard it is, there we go. Right, let's get going. Next station, East New York, 2.3 miles. Do you reckon they said add online? What do you mean by that, Punchy? That's when the wipers on, yes. So I might figure out what this door override is. What does it actually do to your train? I like the rain effects as well. Kind of little streaks you get on the front of the window there. I must say at night, it's not the brightest headlights ever, but I do like it. It's a very nice little train. Oh, you might see look inside the window there. It's a very nice train, this. The way the lighting comes out of it as well. Very nicely done. Also, I just realised that I'm going way over speed for the line speeds. I'm so glad AT's at a high limit because I would not have spotted that. Come on, Drawyah. You're better than this. You know it. You know it. Right, let's bring back to about 45. Just going downhill slightly, so we'll let train just naturally speed up. And then a mile and a half will stop at East New York. Oh, do you reckon they should add online? I mean, I know that multiplayer in Train Sim World was something that Dovetail had been talking about for a fair while. It's more of a case of how they implement the system and when, because they can focus all their time developing multiplayer. That means there's less resources for new routes, and with Train Sim World still being fairly new with not that many options to choose from, surely you want to spend a bit more time creating a bit more content to produce first before having it, because especially with, say, the LIRR Express, having a conductor as well as a train driver, you could do that. You could simulate both. Guard buzzer as well, you could do that on some of the UK routes. It's certainly possible. It's just a case of how they implement it and when. We're on the tunnel now, so we turn off the wipers. Next station, just a bit further ahead. There you go, fun facts number 4. M3s are painted blue instead of yellow. You can see the remnants of the blue paint alongside the cars. Okay, so I can imagine, like, over time, as the paint has worn off, some of the underlayer has made itself visible again. I can imagine that maybe not so much of a thing in Train Sim Worlds, as the MTV would have asked for these trains to be pristine on their sims. It's like Great Western Express. A lot of people ask why there's no blue HSTs on Great Western Express. So the fact that there are more of them than green, it's because with the licensing agreement, I don't think Dovetail were allowed to do blue ones. It just had to be modern trains for a modern era in their modern liveries. With the same modern trains for modern era, back when they first published it in 2016, that was kind of the train they had going at the time. Because nowadays it's Class 800s and Electrostars. Right, nice and slowly. Open doors. It is a sheltered station, so look outside of it getting soaked. Interesting one, East New York. So you can see the highway goes above here, station underneath it, and then we continue on to Jamaica, everything then branches off towards New York Centre or That's the other branches. Alright, let's get back into cab. Let's close the doors. Sit down. And let's get going. Another bit of praise for the Long Island Railroad as well. So that's the most modular of all the train mod routes. Because you have the, well, you've got the Hempstead branch, you've got the Atlantic Terminal branch, you've got New York, Pennsylvania, you've got Ronkonkoma, and you've got the fifth one as well, which I can't remember the name of, which has like one station on it, and only opens once a year for certain events. That's what's got all these extra spurs off that. It's a very modular route. You've got a lot of different destinations to choose from, even in such a short amount of track. A lot of variation. It's a lot of fun to drive. And being a semi-metro route as well, I've just enjoyed it, because for me, I've always preferred a start-stopping service over a high-speed non-stop service. I mean, the HST is cool, but you've only got one station, which is Reading, and so you're just sitting there doing nothing for 30 minutes. If you want to do that, go ride the real thing. But with these stopping services, there's a lot more going on, so it keeps your minds going, so you need to time your speeds. No worries, Joseph, take care. Hope to see you soon. Station Jamaica, got about 6 minutes to get there, just shy of 4.5 miles, so not a bad time at the moment, we should be on time. No worries, Bostonian. Yeah, take care, man. Many thanks for the local knowledge. Hope to see you again soon. Mod for BWHCs? Yes, that exists on PC. Because what you can do is, as it's an Unreal product, you can basically extract all the game files from the game engine and then edit them. So on PC sims, you can now have different texture packs, which is pretty cool. Don't get me wrong. I quite like the standards. I had like no Alright, up to 70. Camera review's not quite works in this tunnel. It's a very tight bit, but you can see the train and its functions. I managed to complete the Paddington Reading VP 185 HT set in 1943. That's not bad. Not bad at all. To be fair, in the real one, I have only ever ridden the HSTs once, and that was a return trip from London to Reading. I've been on the Cars 800s once. That was a trip from Reading to... where did I go to? Swindon. And return journey was then from Swindon to... actually back to Reading again. We're taking a local service. But with the Great Western, I generally take local services, stopping services, more than I take the high speed. Hopefully reminds you of the R46s. Same for the generations, isn't it? Definitely an older train in the 70s kind of period. Kind of reminds you of the R32. Right, so now 2 miles away from Jamaica. I won't accelerate much faster than this, given that the moment we leave this tunnel, we then start going through all the points, which means speed limits drop considerably. So, last thing you want to be doing is going too fast over those, especially when you approach Jamaica. good. Looking really good. There we go. So now about to leave the tunnel. Let's put the brakes on. And we'll hold at about 40 until the actual speed limits change for us. Wipers on. Okay, so 80's down to about 45 now. Sorry, line speed's down to 45. We will be going on to a set of tracks by those things, changing it to set of points. Yes. Okay, so there's a train there waiting on the red signal, presumably waiting for us to pass through first. There we go, nice and slow. And then it's 15 miles per hour as we enter the platforms directly. Perfect. So we're at Jamaica now, which is not too far away from York JFK Airport. So we stopped here. We'll have a look at the SkyTrain, which leads us to the airport. So in front of my train will be out in the rain. We'll leave the wipers running while we're here. Let's set the keys as well. So we're opening the left-hand side doors. So I'll pick that up, switch sides, stick it in there. We'll sit down, go to free cam view, and let's have a look. So the SkyTrain terminal is this bit here. See the tracks down below, and that goes alongside here for a little bit before pushing off to the left, and then in the distance about a mile or two away is New York JFK International Airport. Get the key out. So fiddly. There we go. Sit down, just put the key in there for safety, and let's go forwards. Still 15 on the ATC, so we won't go much faster than that. Although once we're clear of the station, we shall go. Dovetail going to actually add the SkyTrain. They've added the track for it, but not the locos or anything like that. So you can see it, but you can't ride it or anything. Nearly got excited. You never know. You never know. I mean, it's not exactly a massive route. The problem with SkyTrain, because it's all automated, there's not really much in the way of train driving to get out of it. No, sorry, that was bad action from me. Yep, I'll be penalised for that. Again, I don't watch the speed limit. I'm watching the speed limit, but not the ATC. So, well, yes, it says I can go 35. I can't actually go 35. It always confuses me where it's going before we start running back. No, I've done it again. One day I'll learn. One day I'll learn it. I'm a fantastic train driver. Alright, let's not go to external view. Let's actually stay in here and monitor our own speed. Go. Next station is Hollis. Relatively level bit of track this, but again, just managing the speed. There we go, so he's now up to 40, so we can now start to accelerate. Go, 90 up to 80 now, although we're going much faster than 40. Going to be a little bit late to Hollis. We should be there right now, but hopefully a few seconds won't cause too much of a problem for us on the timetable there. To 80 though now, so we can just accelerate all the way to the station. Looking good, past 60. In a moment, we'll start slowing down, just 900 yards away. Short platform this, but we should manage it fine. That will do. I'll turn the key and we'll unlock rear doors. Good. Locking. That's odd. It's very odd. Set that to doors. Lock rearwards. Ah, sorry, that's why. Because the brake's not set to 10. Only once the brake's set to 10, then you can lock the doors. So remember that, the railroads, that is a requirement of it. So what I had done is I set the brakes down to 1, thinking I could make a quicker start, but no, that's not something you can shoot hype. Next station's Queen's Village in 1.5 miles. Yeah, we are going to be late for the remainder of the service, but hey, no train driver's ever been completely on time. Welcome Bam Bam Gaming, long time no see, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chats. So, we'll stop at Queen's Village. From there, we take the branch line down to Hempstead, where we then stop in front of the racecourse. Not a station that's used too often. Let's say it's used actually once a year during a show that goes on at the racecourse. The rest of the year it's used to store freight wagons, so not a very common station to see a train at. Also, sometimes you get the odd train as well during special events, but yeah, it's really not a place you're hoping for an active service. I'll start this train down again. Looking good. There we go. Stop. So, unlock rearward doors. This time we won't change the brakes, that way we have to deal with the door again. And then as they got one more stop until we terminate this service. It's a really fancy station here at Hempstead. They rebuilt it a couple of years ago, if I recall. They rebuilt it, and yeah, it's not really used much. Right, Belrose is next. So actually, it's not that branch there. Sorry, it's the next one that leads down to it. That's a bit better, turning off the main lights. Actually, I have to do that and that. We can see the cab, but not the strong lights, which is, again, generally a bit more advised when you're driving a train. You don't really want to have the full lights going on, so it can just distract you, especially with glare in the window. You want to see what's outside, not what's inside. Start bringing this train to a halt now. There we go. Nice and steady. We're about 3 minutes behind schedule. No no cause for concern with that. Let's do the max braking. And let's grab the key for the other side. So switch that, grab the key, and head over to the other side. One of the things I'm not a fan of the American trains, the fact that, especially if you're doing it in single driver operation, I don't believe this is a SDO. These have to be MDO or MSO, whatever it's called for multiple staff. But yeah, definitely not something you'll do with just one person. Oh, little batch up there, very nice. Oops, come on, where's the unlock? Sorry, unlock, there we go. Right, so switch that, grab the key, back in the cab, stick it there, and sit down. Next station, Floral Park. And that then puts us onto the branch for Hampstead. No worries, Joseph. It's good talking to you. Hope to see you again soon. Take care. Unlock rear with doors as soon as we stop. Good. Yeah, it's not a massive. We don't need to stop here for a too long time. You see the speed of the loading passengers dial. It's quite a quick little process. Open doors, passengers change, close the doors. Very careful, because now that we're leaving Floral Park, the speed limit does actually change very quickly to counter for what actually becomes a single line track, I believe. Yes, so it does split into a single line in both directions. So a little bit more throttle. The station is Stuart Manor. Train is down further up the gap. Okay, so it actually gives you instruction what to do if the train actually gets stuck in between third rail and sorry, in a gap between the two third rails tracks. So it basically tells you to so somewhere in the cab's like a little electric system which kind of generates the train with its own power for a short period, but doesn't last too long before it basically runs out of energy and needs to be recharged. So remember, I did it once actually in the M7, not during a video as such, but in my own time. And I was just questioning myself, why has the train not got any power? Why are we stranded in the middle of nowhere? But yeah, Matt Pendleton was quite quick to realise my cab hadn't got any power in it because I was on a gap. So essentially needs to move the train slightly just to give it some power. Brakes, let it roll, and eventually the power would jump back into the cab. bring the train to a halt. Not too far now to Hempstead. I think we'll do one more service before we bring this stream to an end. So we'll give the M3 and LIRR a chance to shine as well. Sets. So we'll give the train another run before we do bring it to an end. Moon over there. A slight translucent moon. Very nice. I must say, the environment around Train Sim World really has improved since its first release on CSX Heavy Haul. The rain looks fantastic, the trains handle rather well. The new sceneries, new routes really have stood out compared to their former older counterparts. And yeah, the only reasons I'd say updating is the clouds, but clouds are so minimal in a train simulator, it's not really something that you do need to really stand out completely, but it's rather sweet, this. Next station, Nassau Boulevard. Careful on the AC again. Now that I have essentially mastered it, so I've not mastered it, but I've certainly improved on what I was messing around with before. So it's a bit easier to manage now. Anyway, it starts to slow down now for Nassau. We're still about 3 minutes behind schedule, so given that there's so little of the route left, no real chance of us picking that up, I'd say. There we go, 4 to 12 cart stop boards, multiple units. Doors unlocked. So a bit more comfortable as well. There we go. Ooh, that'll be a nice screenshot, won't it? I know what I'm doing next. Lock doors. Stick the camera in position. I think we'll do that. I mean, just look at the light as it shines through the fence there. Very, very nice. As I was just saying, the environment around Train Sim World is fantastic, and the lighting I think is the main thing that really has shone since the original game. Because they've now baked the tunnel textures into the tunnels, they kind of reserved more, what's the word? More light sources they've reserved for other parts of the route, and now at night it really does shine. And even the rain gets lit up by the train's headlights. They're outside the lights, this is M3. If it's outside the headlights, then it doesn't get lit. Start slowing down again as we reach Garden City. go. 80's now down to 60 miles per hour. So that's getting ready for the single line track which comes just after here. Then we make a break to the right hand side and bring the train into Hempstead. Looking good. Currently at Garden City, then we've got Country Life Press, then Hempstead at 20:57. Give or take a few minutes, it'll be more like 9 PM when we arrive. So, throttle in. For the crossing, and there we go, signal pointing to the right as we make a change of track. Start slowing down. Start desperately slowing down because we are well over the limits. I'm not going to release the acknowledge hand until we get to Country Life Press. Actually, no need, because the speed limit's 15, but ATC is up to 40, so in that time I didn't mess up there, actually. It's so confusing having both the ATC and the speed limits. Essentially contradicts one another. It's not fun. But it does keep your mind thinking, that's for sure. Once you're following the right limit there. So Country Life Press just around the corner. Down to 20 the ATC, so down to 30. There is no 20 limits. And it's nice and slow for the remainder of the way. Good. We'll need to switch the key around, so we'll pick that up and stick it in there. Watch for platform movements. There won't be too many of them here, but keep an eye out for the passengers. One boarding there. When ready, we'll then lock the rearward doors. Grab the key. Let's try and pick up the key. There we go. Stick it in there. Sit down and go. Next station is Hempstead, where this train terminates. Change, please. Yeah, that'll be a penalty because we stopped a bit too late there. I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean by that. Russian is not a language that I can speak, I'm afraid. But welcome to the channel, welcome to chat, how you doing? is. There is Hempstead. And just beyond that, Hempstead Park. Train's going downhill slightly, so don't have to go too fast over the limit there. That headlight down there, is that just the signal guide? I think that's just signal guide there. Yeah, you won't get too much in the way of the traffic out in here. And then we're going to this platform here. There we go, 14 miles per hour will do. That should then be that. So it's quite busy for a station that sees no services. Must be race day today. Is that slightly damp, the box? Does water manage to get into the train there? You have to let somebody know that that's not supposed to happen. At least I can imagine that pressing these buttons will probably give you quite a nasty shock. Welcome Rotate Aviation, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat. Thank you for subscribing, much appreciated, man. Much appreciated. So, lock doors, and then that should be end of service, I believe. There we go. Not bad by any means. Again, one or two little hiccups on the ATC, but we did manage to score a silver medal. I didn't think that would be possible after that run. Level 4 on the M3, level 9 on the railroads. Do one more service before bringing this one to an end. So head to the main menu, let's head to the timetable, and let's pick a different branch this time. Let's maybe try and find a Jamaica Terminator, or possibly another route to York Penn. Yeah, we'll do it in daytime once more, just to break it a bit more variety. So the M3 Long Island. This time we'll do it in a. We've done a 10, we've done a 6, so we'll do an 8 car set this time. So I've made some clouds. Yeah, do some clouds. We'll do a little bit of dampness, bit of wind. That should do. And let us do a service from Jamaica to Belmont. Do we have a Belmont to Jamaica, the reverse of that? There you go, Belmont Park to New York Penn. I think that would be a nice little service. That's a bit later than I'd like. Belmont to Jamaica. Right, we'll do Belmont to... Okay, we'll do it this way around. New York Penn to Belmont Park. That's a nice midday service. Watching your FSX versus Explain video when you saw this. Yes, the classic actually explained the FSX. I am hoping to do an update to that at some points, going into P3D V5 versus Explain 11 Vulcan. So that will hopefully be on the mix, and hopefully it'll be even half as popular as the one that I first did, because that video did well beyond I thought I'd ever get on this channel. It's like 500,000 views now. Never expected I'd get ever close to that. And so, I've always appreciated people who watched that video. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Right, let's do this. So, yeah, we'll turn those lights on, but we'll turn off the main lights. Marker lights are off, headlights are on. Charge the brakes, so you go forward, you do that, and I'll press you for a few seconds until the brakes pipe is full. Some power in now. ATC on. Let's get going. So we're just outside in York, Pennsylvania. Taking an M3 out of the depot and onto the service. I can imagine that the outside area there kind of dates back to the time of steam trains, when you wouldn't particularly want what's it called? You wouldn't particularly want smoke and steam filling up these tunnels, especially in a depot. So open air allows us to kind of breathe. This is an online game, Train Some World, so it's available on Steam, Xbox One and PlayStation 4. I should have played American Truck Sim. I have got Euro Truck Simulator, American Truck Sim I haven't looked at, but I've not really picked up on it as of yet. But if it's of interest, then yeah, I could definitely have a look into it for sure. Right, so we won't go much faster than 15 right now. Fairly steep track this. No, the rear marker lights are not on, and what I'm going to do is when we're stopped at York Penn, I'll get a chance to run back to the rear of the train and turn those on. And I could run through the train as well, but at the same time, actually I say that, stop location York Penn at 11:01, it's currently 10:52, so we've actually got a good 10 minutes before we actually need to depart anyway, so I have a few minutes to hold here and look around. Nice and slowly. There's a couple of M7s sitting at New York. Presumably all out of service. No lights, no nothing. Inside the cab as well. Dark. But there are people waiting, so possibly just waiting then for a service to start. Let's say we've got about 8 minutes now until we actually have to depart anyway, so well, let's say a bit of time to just walk around, explore the train a little bit, and yeah, see what other features the M3 has to offer. So we've had a quick look at the interior cab, but nothing with real depth yet. Stop. So the keys. Open the doors. Close that. And let's have a look. It's an 8-car set, so it's a middle sized. So we've done a 10, we've done a 6 now, so we'll do the 8s. Then we shall go to the rear, set that up, and back to the front. Okay, cool, platform 15. Also has a M7, so we get a chance to do the two trains as well, have a bit of comparison. Just a window. It's nothing that confuses me. Those are windows, not doors. That's a door. But you need to remember to get to the back of the train in this right place. So if those go off, those come off, marker lights come on. Make sure that the rear of the cab is set, which it is. Let's just confirm that the cab rear lights are on. Yes, that they are. Right. It's okay, the rear of the train hasn't quite stopped in the same position as the M7. Maybe the front is a bit more even. Yeah, not particularly, it's all the way over there. Well, this is M3, and that over there is an M7, so you can tell that that front's a bit more modern than this. M7, I think it's got proper LED lighting at the front as well. This is just old halogen system, old halogen bulbs, so a bit grimier. The cleanest train in the world. Also, the platform does slightly clip the train there, so I presume it's a bit of a wider body than what we were waiting for, at least what we are expecting. So I'll let Dovetail know that they need to extend the platform slightly. 9841, so I presume this is an original M3 and not a converted M1, as we'll explain by Boston earlier. And yeah, it's a rather neat little train that. Of course, America, they still have the prides. Access window lock in. Watch the gap, there is no gap. There physically is no gap. Shift step, there is no step. So we want the interior software as well. So, spotted toilets, so it's got some luggage area here. I presume there's like some machinery or something in that, maybe a motor. Forwards, we've then got the disabled area, so we've got a wheelchair area. Yeah, I guess they can kind of like go backwards in here, skirt around, and then somewhat fit in there. It's not a massive area for a wheelchair, I must say. Unless maybe the seats will raise up as well. I just can't see that. No, not giving up the service. A bit further back, other toilets. Going past the cab now, the train. That's just not cab, toilet, sorry, that's a cab. That's kind of let you branch between the different trains. Yeah, it's kind of the same setup throughout the train. So, not as much of amenities like. I think the M7 has a tap water dispenser, isn't it? Unless I'm thinking of the LIRR Express. I think the LIRR Express actually had a water bottle dispenser. I could refill a water bottle. If you look inside an M7, it's definitely a bit more like an airline style. There you go, got toilets, bigger toilets, so this one can easily hold a wheelchair user or a less abled person. Holding grip there as well, so I think the modern train certainly has more amenities you'd expect than the old school train. Well, the old school train is a bit brighter, a bit more open plan. There's the windows. The windows in the M7 so much bigger than those in the M3. They just basically don't exist. Alright, not long now to go. So we'll start, make sure that train is prepared to go. And then in approximately a minute and a half, we'll then make our way to our destination I've forgotten the name of. Let's double check the thing here. So go to Woodside. We're going to be at Woodside for Jamaica, so it's an express train. And then straight to Belmont Park. So it really is a non-stopping service this. It's just go, 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 and done. We'll be stopping at some of the intermediate stations along the route, but obviously not. Okay, we have got the battery switch up there, so I think after we've done this service, I'll say we'll probably make this our final one for a new stream. So we'll stick the train into a cold and dark kind of setup, just completely shut it down. See what that looks like before we pour this an end. And for those of you interested as well, as I say, every day, probably starting from tomorrow, or from today, we'll do a video on the different scenarios that the M3 gives us. I'll double check as well, see how many it gives you, before we bring this one to an end as well. There you go, we depart now in 1 minute and 20 seconds. AC is active, so I'll be using that on the way out as well. as everything is pretty much as you'd expect it to be. Nothing really in the way of a destination board actually. Not really checked. Do these trains have destination boards? Not particularly, no. I guess it's down to platform boards to tell you where the train is going to. Yeah, nothing really here. MTA Long Island Railroad train crew member is a felony. Oh, assaulting an MTA Long Island Railroad crew's felony punishable by up to 7 years in prison. New York States. Penal Code 120.05. Alright, so let's do this. Next station, Woodside. We'll arrive there in about 12 minutes. Okay, that's our first warning there. Nothing left that one, not so much a warning. So now into the right hand tunnel. And from here it's about 2 miles of 2.5 miles even of nothing but nothing. Can I hear? Yes you can. I can't see your name though. Sorry, you're on a different channel. Drabber Nest 13538. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to chat. Apologies, I am not checking my mixer chat properly. Same as Twitch. I think we've had a few Twitch messages, but I've not done a great job at keeping an eye on those people. Yeah, penalised. Why? Because I went too fast there. Hold that. Hold that. There we go. 80 up to 60 now. Let's get the string going, shall we? Just adjust my microphone slightly as well so you guys can hear me a bit better. Because again, when I normally stream without a webcam, I can tip my microphone in front of my face. But now that I have got this going, if I were to do that, it would not look quite as good with a green thing in front of my face, or just like a massive cutout where the microphone is because of the green screen. So, yes, I need to make a few adjustments to my setup to suit that better. Again, just the way the M3 jostles and jumps around. It's definitely a lively little train. Good. We should soon be leaving the tunnel now. go. One small turn, and we should be able to see the outside world. Oh, there's something going parallel to us. That's an M3, double door. Oh, I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. Two miles to Woodside, so you have plenty of time to mess around. Oh no, ATC's dropping our speed. Goodbye. I was hoping for really cool screenshots, but our times have really now conflicted, and we're getting out to 15 miles per hour. Ah, that's why. There's a red signal, so actually I meant to be behind that train. And so if I didn't start slowing down, I'd never realise there's a red signal there. Too busy watching another train there. Well, goodbye. Fun little scenario. We'll crawl up to the red signal and then we will wait for him to clear the tracks before we continue. It also explains why he has a massive time jump with, what, 6 minutes in a mile and a half. Just around here is where one of the yards are, that store, lots of Long Island Railroad cars. Okay, see up to 60 now, the signals change. So, flashing yellow, one that's a train block ahead of us. On top is a repeater, since that signal up ahead is a red one. I won't go particularly fast, so I don't want to create a bit of a gap between myself and the train in front. So if we keep it slow and steady, that should then allow us to, again, let's just coast our way to Woodside. And then from there, we should then be able to pick up the speed a little bit. Given that we're then a direct train to Jamaica. Yeah, if I go to this thing, so we're at Woodside, load passengers. It's straight to Jamaica, so we're skipping all of these stations. It's Jamaica, before we make another stop. It's the next one, isn't it? Yeah, straight over to here, so again, it's skipping a few more stations. Green signal. The next two blocks are now clear. Under a mile now, so if we stop accelerating, then it's about 400 yards from the station, slow down to about 30, which gives us a nice speed again to slow down and stop. The brakes on this train are not, I'd say, quite as effective as the M7, but given the age of the train, you don't really expect a modern top-end spec And for the era, this was fantastic. You can imagine it was a train that essentially saw the electrification process of the Long Island Railroad after the M1. And yeah, in the 70s, this probably was a fantastic loco. Has just left the station. You can see it ahead of us, but we have got clearance now to enter the platform and make the stop there. We're 2 minutes or so early, so I can now imagine that they're going to use this 2 minutes as a time to create a bit of a distance from the two trains. I thought actually what was going to happen is the train in front of us was like there was an express train on the side there, and that would be chasing behind them. But no, what has happened is they've merged into the same track and then pushing down the same track to the junction at Jamaica. Go, and let's stop the train. The door was open the whole time. Whoops. So since we've got a little bit of time here, let's explore the platforms at both sides. Anything worth collecting? Stairs. Yeah, it's definitely a station I don't recognise. I don't think I've actually been up here before. Yeah, of course that'd be Barrow stopping you. There isn't a train coming. There it is. High-pitched one, the M7. Certainly have fond memories of that one. It's a really good line here, Long Island Railroad. If you don't have it, certainly one I'd recommend. In fact, because I believe it's now a default route in Train Sim Worlds. If you don't have Train Sim Worlds, then I'd recommend it. Just run over the electric rails and jump back into our own train. I do not recommend running an electric track. Bad things will happen to you if you do. Alright, sit down, lock the doors, let that ring, and let's then reset the throttle. Next station is Jamaica in 6 miles. You can actually see the reflection of the M7's lights over there. I can imagine because these are double glazed, so it kind of somehow shines through. So 6 lines between Jamaica and New York. You have 3 up lines and 3 down lines, but the 2 centre tracks are interchangeable. So in the morning during rush hour, you can have more trains going into New York, so making both of those up lines, and then in the evening when people are going home, make them both down lines and have the trains going away from New York. So the 2 outer rails will stay as they are, but the middle tracks do actually change depending on the time of day. It's one of the things that the New York rail network, the MTB, do in order to keep the efficiency of their services high. Miles per hour. so nice and stable. About 3 miles now from Jamaica, so a short bit, we'll then start centering down and get ready for the junction outside the station. I think it starts getting a little bit slower. We've got a football field here. Sorry, an American football field. Go. 2 miles away, 1 mile will slow down. Trying ahead of us, I believe we'll actually be in Jamaica at this point. Just leaving Jamaica. Down to 60, we'll bring it down to 40 when we hit 0.9 miles. There we go. Momentarily, we'll make our stop in Jamaica. Yeah, speed limit has increased, but given that the station is not so far away, it's a 50-mile-per-hour approach into Jamaica, we'll probably leave it at around 30, where we're currently at. So we've got a brake charger, and that's below it. Oh, here's a guard's buzzer. Non-functional, but yeah, the guard's buzzer, which is always nice. Horn is where the horn is. We've got a coupling switch as well. We've got nothing to couple onto, nothing comes in front of us, but there will be a scenario somewhere when we're going through a yard, need to mess around. Like I said, we'll look at the scenarios what we got afterwards, just before we end the stream. A little bit more braking now since things start to really slow here. Down to 20. Not yet. It's a really steep downhill section there, so yeah, trying to just start accelerating again. Alright, down to 15. Go. Unlock doors. So we'll be here not for too long, I don't think. 22. So So we're about 28 seconds behind anyway. So the departure from Jamaica won't be too long. It's straight to Belmont Park, where the train will then terminate there. There we go. Let's go forwards. Yeah, AC's at 40 at the moment, so they go down to 15 straight away. Catches you out, that. Really does. There we go. 13, 14, hold it. So there we go. Now going to the far right hand side lane. Given that the Belmont branch is one of the first ones that come out of Jamaica on the right hand side. So it's just over here. We have got manual points if I wanted to. In fact, that one's not even set correctly. I just checked that. This needs to be changed as well. This one is fine. This one is not fine. Bring you up to speed a little bit more if we continue checking those points. Welcome Finley. How you doing? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat. How you doing? So that's now correct. That's now correct. That's now correct, that's now correct, that is correct, and into this platform here. Keep on speed there, because we are going downhill. Go, AC up to 60, so we can now accelerate. Go. Let's go to the roof of one of these buildings. Here we go. There's an apartment balcony. Name something more New York. Not bad at all. Oh, hang on, is that door still? Oh. Oh gosh, that scared me for a second. I thought the doors were still open on some of the carriages. I thought that the rearwards, forwards unlock system had kind of failed there or something. Because essentially, if you were to open doors from the middle of the train, you can then decide only open forward or only open rearwards, or press both sides. And so that's what the key panel kind of determines. I thought for a second there, had that kind of malfunctioned and only half doors was closed. It's an empty platform because the train in front of us was here just moments ago. 2.5 miles to Belmont Park. We'll start slowing down now since we'll be using a set of points just beyond the TRs to our right hand side. There's no real time there as to when we get to Belmont Park. It's just we get there basically. The yellow school bus just on the right hand side on the road. red signal up ahead. It says it's green there, but that doesn't look so green to me, which, well, we'll keep going slow just in case. The sim's adamant that it's green, so we'll continue slowly. Is that on the wrong track? Ah, I understand that now. So, yeah, it is a red signal if the train's facing the other direction. So, as I said earlier, the tracks are interchangeable, depending on the rush hours and direction of travel. So, yes, there's a red signal, but facing the other way direction. That makes sense now. We're now a mile away. Keep it at 40 because we'll be on the single branch line shortly. So this will certainly be slowing down for that. It's quite a nice area, this, I must say. Very peaceful, that's for sure. An M7. Right there, our setup points. So down to 40 on the ATC. Already we're down there, so no need for us to set anymore. Welcome Adrianic, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to chat. Thank you Adrian's Gaming for following on Twitch, much appreciated. Can I turn my mic up? Problem is, this is maximum volume, and if I was to bring it close to my face, then it kind of does that, so... I will do a full mess up with my system at some point, just kind of get the audio balance right, as well as I'm streaming on my webcam, because I've not done this in a little while, like I say. First time I've streamed on webcam for a little bit, just to kind of get all the balances right. Thank you for following Adrianic on Twitch as well, much appreciated. So, nice and slowly. We've settled the points now, so that should be correct. And then Belmont sits outside the Belmont Racing Stadium, which, well, yeah, the only time the station opens is during the racing season. Well, there's only one race a year, so this is a very rare service. And so actually I was saying it was Hempstead earlier, no, I have to correct myself there. It's Belmont that has the stadium. And the rest of the year they use the station to store freight wagons basically. Not much in the way of actual services ever. There's nothing here, no buildings, no residential, it's just a stadium. For the most part, the stadium's closed. Finn, welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat, how are you doing, man? So, all's looking good. yards to go now. Oops, that was our last warning there. You can look both sets of doors if you wanted to. And stop. Right, so let's train for a turnaround. So just go off. Does it come off? No, that yes. This goes off. Reverse off. Master key off. So now we can change cabs. And as soon as the train's ready then to depart from Belmont, we're going to be able to make a straight departure from there, but I don't think we'll mess around with that. Let's just close the doors, so stick that in, door on, and lock behind and forwards. So there we have it. Well, a good 40-minute journey of that, but then again, we did spend about 10 minutes at the start not doing anything, so yeah, it wasn't too difficult overall. Level 5 on the M3, level 9 on the railroads, and not looking too bad at that. We'll do a bit more free roaming, just because I wanted to have a look at the train a bit more. So let's head to the rear cab. I did say I want to set the train to like a cold and dark setup, so we'll turn off the battery, turn off all the systems, and then start it from nothing basically. So sit down, lights will off as well, battery will just come off. And there you go, it's a silenced train and no power. At least for this cab it isn't. Every single cab has their battery turned on, so yeah, I can imagine it's a bit of a process to actually get a train going on in the morning. We'll turn it back on again, and we'll set up the not tail lights, those will come off now, headlights will come on, and that would be that for departure, whenever that's ready at 11:40. It's a good train, the M3. I've really enjoyed driving this thing. Simulation Gamer, new channel, how are you? I'm not too bad. Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chat. Well, I'm afraid you've caught us right at the end there, because we are just about to end the stream. So, yeah, have a look at the scenarios available, see how many of those we get. And as I say, the plan is, starting tomorrow, we'll do one scenario a day, just to try to spread out a bit more train style content. And then, at some point I'll probably do a stream where I drive both the M3 and the M7. Does it actually use the older logo? Nah, it's the modern logo for the modern colours. Yeah, the newer train's a bit more powerful. Capacity wise I can imagine they're a bit better as well. Right, scenarios. We've done the main ones, and we have 3 new ones. We have Ferrying Folks, Metropolitan Mover, and the Hicksville Handler. That looks like quite a fun one. So yeah, for the next 3 days, tune into the channel. I'll do a bit more of that. But yeah, I think for now, it's a good time to bring the stream to an end. And massive thank you as well, especially those who chatted today. It's been a rather fun stream this, I must say. Sounds good, Simulation. Have to check that out. So, thank you guys very much for watching. Do consider buying the M3. If you have the Long Island Railroad, then this is definitely a fun little train to drive. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. There we go, level 74 on the character. Wow, 2017 created a profile. That's back in the days of CSX Heavy Haul. That miles driven 2,600. That's a fair bit there. 76 miles walked. Best route is level 13 on the Great Western. Best train is the 377, really, level 12. That's the modern EMU, that. 149 level 5, 196. I've actually driven that more than I've driven that. Interesting. Anyhows, as I was saying, thank you guys very much for watching. Take care, keep safe, and hopefully see you again very soon. Bye bye.